No, we'll see. There's one outside.
Hey up, Grumps. It's good to see you. Yes, Yoni Scherer. Yoni, I owe you a gift. I've actually got it in my bag. Green Fairy, Buckles, Colonel. We've got an espresso. We've got a mighty. Hello, Nathan. We've got a cannabis hardware grinder. We've got medical cannabis. The pamphlet has been handed in to the manager and they have been wonderful. Very, very accommodating. Hello, Ricky Bell. The manager was wonderful. Expressed an interest in medical in general, saying it could help a family member. And for anyone watching, this is the Starbucks next to the train station in Nottingham. Is now fully aware of patients. And that we are acceptable human beings. We're on. Hey, Jersey. Hello. Worlds are colliding. The Mighty Plus, this one, Mighty Medic. I should get my little sploofy thing out so I'm not just stinking the place out on purpose. It's not what I'm here for. Got a little carbon filter. Don't need much more, really. And as you can see, well, you can't see it, I'm sat right next to the door. The door's open, so that should help. And just up there, look, is the aircon. Yes. I mean, this is just ridiculously oversized, and I added this thing to it just because my mouth wouldn't seal around it properly because it's enormous. It's just got a ridiculous opening in it. You need a face the size of Ipswich to be able to use it properly. But with this thing in, this little silicone seal, a bong dom, works perfectly. You still can't stop all the smell from, you know, coming out the mouthpiece of this.
I wish. I actually been thinking about it. I'm going to go in September. June just seems to be
Well, Ricky, so I would say anything that you're vaping your medical cannabis through becomes a medical device. It's kind of as simple as that. But the Mighty is the only device, I think it's this and the Volcano, are the only devices that are approved by the Home Office in the UK. So what that means is technically I could have brought a Volcano here and be doing a massive bag. But obviously that would be a bit ridiculous. I'm not opposed to being ridiculous though. I'd like to do it at some point. Well, I've just actually been to the police station on the way here. I went to the police station and handed in the Equality Act 2010 pamphlet and let them know that let them know what I'm doing basically, let them know that I'm going into town, that I'm going to be going to this particular Starbucks, I'm going to be vaping cannabis inside the Starbucks, you may get a phone call, and if you do, just ignore it. As usual, they wanted my details because they always want your details. They just want details of everybody. They want the entire world on their system. But I know they can make CAD numbers with just an email address. So they didn't need my details. He was like, oh, I'm going to make a... What was it he called it? He was going to put in, not an encounter, what are they called? An incident. He was going to put, there'd been an incident on the computer. He was like, there isn't an incident. There's no incident to put on there if there's just someone using their medication. It's not a police incident. It's not worthy of a CAD number. Okay, so there we go. So, I've got this purely for safety so I can say this is a medically approved by the Home Office. I don't think the Venti is at the moment, I'm not sure. It takes a long time for it to go through and it costs a lot, so no one else has done it. I think you'd have a problem if you were using your Dynavap and torches, as someone has just pointed out. The torch would probably make it unreasonable. But any of the other vapes, if there's no combustion involved, there's no flame involved, you'd probably be absolutely fine. They'd have a fight on their hands to prove that you weren't using it medically. Just because it's not a Home Office medically approved device, they'd have to prove that you weren't using it medically. And they wouldn't be able to prove that, I don't think. As soon as you're medically got your paperwork in order, there's no such thing as recreational use unless you're setting fire to it. And if you're going out of your way to use a vape, then you're probably being reasonable. And that's what the law comes down to. It's being reasonable. There has to be reasonable adjustments made for you to accommodate you, and you have to be reasonable as well. And I feel like I'm being reasonable by letting everyone know what's happening. I'm being reasonable by sitting next to an open door. I'm being reasonable by sitting near the aircon. Being reasonable by using a carbon filter. I don't know what more I could do, really. What's unreasonable is how yellow my teeth get from coffee. Hello, Jay. Hello, Robert. Another day, another Starbucks.
Thank you.
Next is British Transport Police are just over the way, the other side of the train station. So I'm going to try and do that. I might try and do that next. I honestly thought Green Ferry for a second that said he likes guys. Not that there's anything wrong with that. But I did wonder what was going on for a minute. And just over the way that way, why don't you take medical friends with you for support?
I'd have to have some friends for that to happen.
No, I do. I have someone with me. That's it. I do have someone with me. Today I am on the Alien Coffee. I've got the Alien Coffee bag in with me. Colonel Buds, hello. I have to have help. I have to have help getting out of the house, and I have to have help doing these things, and it might take me a couple of days to recover. I am on 4C Labs Alien Coffee today. No smoking though, obviously. I am purely medicating with vaporizing my medicinal cannabis. Otherwise I would be breaking the law. But yeah, 4C Labs Alien Coffee, which is £5 a gram. I think it's gone up maybe for £5.50, maybe £6, which is a real shame. I think all 4C Labs prices have gone up, which is a bit sad. I guess they did that for a while and then realised that it wasn't good business for them or something. But here we are, right. I don't know how many. I wonder how many Starbucks are in Nottingham Town Centre. I was going to shout at them, but I'll wait. But that's 2 now. That's 2. And I've asked them to pass the information on. See you soon, Jay. Have a good one. I've asked them to pass the information on to. So you can use the Puff code Pivot and Dab if it's legal to press your own rosin. Now, I was going to bring my dab rig with me. But because this is already potentially on shaky ground, only because the public don't know the law and the police don't know the law, I didn't want to get my dabs, my pivot, my dab rig, and all the vaporizers I've got with me. I didn't want to get all of it stolen by the police and then having to prove myself to get any of it back and be left at home with no vapes whatsoever. But yes, Ricky Bell, that's what I'm thinking as well. But it's going to be harder to explain that to the police if you're already having to explain to the police stuff they already don't understand. Do you know what I mean? If you're already having to explain to them that flour is legal and they already don't get that, if they're not already on board, if you're then having to explain dabs to them as well, fucking hell, it's going to be a bit of an uphill climb. Exactly. Baby step it with the baby step it for the UEs. Baby step it for the novices. Baby step it for the people with all the stigma. Legal docs. There is a video on my channel called How to Vape Medical Cannabis in Public. And on that video, in the description, there is a link to the pamphlet. I press at home, Ryan. I press medical flower at home. All the dabs I have at the moment are pressed from Therismos or Welford. They've rebranded to Welford now. Are pressed from Welford Queen Sangria, which unfortunately it presses as far as I'm aware, Northern Ireland. Yeah, Reddit has got a hard on for not allowing anyone to talk about this. I don't get it. I don't understand. They seem to be really anti-pushing anything. So Northern Ireland, I don't know. I wouldn't like to say with any confidence. I'm assuming you're working under the same rules and the same laws that we are over here with regards to medical cannabis. There's two children sat across from me with a bottle of vodka out. Anyway, there is some debate about this pressing thing, but ultimately I got arrested with a grow on and I was medical at the time, and obviously they destroyed the grow and all that kind of stuff. They didn't take the press. They didn't charge me with manufacturing. I know someone else who views the channel, a subscriber, who was caught with a grow on, wasn't medical at the time, had 17 ounces in the house. They took his press. He's now getting it back. They haven't charged him with manufacturing. There seems to be this idea going around that we're all going to get charged with manufacturing if we press our flower. But people aren't being charged. And people are arguing medical even when they haven't got a medical card and they're still getting stuff back. The CPS are not charging people with manufacturing. When I spoke to Welford, they said they'd spoken to a solicitor about this, and Green Fairy, Abergaddon, and that it's not going to be classed as manufacturing. People that argue that it is manufacturing keep quoting certain laws at me, which obviously do not mention medical cannabis at all, and were written before it was even a thing. So it's not mentioned. People aren't having their presses taken from them, and they're not being charged with manufacturing. So, at worst, it's a massive grey area. At best, it's not illegal. There's no law covering it, so it's not illegal. And if we've got medical people arguing for it and getting away with it easily, where's all the scapegoating and the scaremongering coming from? It seems to be coming from the clinics. Now, why do the clinics want to scaremonger us? Why do the clinics want to make sure that we shouldn't be allowed to even use the ABV? Who the hell is being arrested? Exactly. And who the hell is being arrested for manufacturing, for using their ABV to make cookies for themselves or whatever, or to make a balm for themselves? So constantly trying to claim it's illegal and having a hissy fit with me saying, well, no, everything seems to be pointing to the fact that it's legal, seems to be completely backwards and not really from a bunch of people that want to push this scene forwards. It seems to be, if anything, stigma-based and leaving us stagnating. And in the meantime, no one's bringing rosin to the market. It's all quite ridiculous. But I have finished my espresso and I should go and hit the next location. Maybe there'll be another live stream, I don't know. I will film going to British Transport Police and I'll film going to the pub over the way. I don't even like going to pubs, I don't drink, I don't want to do any of this. Starmer's definitely a Tory. And I've got glass with me as well. I brought glass with me. And the tiny mic too as well. So the chances of me ripping a fat one at some point somewhere with the glass is far too high. I hope no one calls the police. Thank you all for watching. Hit like, hit subscribe, give us a share, all that kind of stuff. Can't do any of this without any of you lot helping me out. Thank you for being here. I'll speak to you again soon. Stay medicated.